Yo, what's good, YouTube? ZAMCRO here, aka Scoot, back with the DPL, and we have Season 2, Week 3. It'll be our final week before the mid-season break, where we just take a week off and maybe make some changes to our teams or our drafts. So look out for that. We'll have some coverage for that for sure. But before that happens, we've got to finish week 3. So speaking of week 3, so definitely after last week, or first 2 weeks, we've got losses in terms of my own performances. We got a team win in week 1. We got a team loss in week 2. After my game 7. Unfortunately, we're playing another game 7. Originally, Jake and I were to play at 2 p.m. on Sunday, but something came up for Jake. He wanted to go out with his girlfriend or something like that, and I was totally cool with it. I had all day, so I just asked him when would be good for him. He said 7 to midnight EST. I said, what, does 9 o'clock sound fine? He said, yeah. So we scheduled for 9. Ended up being game 7 because North played his game 6 at 8 o'clock. So had I played mine at 2 and North played at 8, then perhaps we would not be in this game 7 here, where it's necessary for me to win. So yeah, speaking of the matchup, High Jump Kicks versus Jerry Evolution. Bronson defeated Ben. Shuckle King defeated Wombo. Joe defeated Rospool. And that put us at a 2-1 lead. But then Jarrett defeated JJ, and Zazo defeated Carson, putting us at a 3-2 position. But North clutched up versus Troy and played a phenomenal match versus Troy, and was able to pick up a victory there, tying the series 3-3. So we're going into this game 7 again, where it determines who's going to win the series. Really, really unfortunate. So, like in week 2, I said that my team really wanted me to focus on my build and make sure that I had a designated lead. I made sure we debated between Greninja, Infernape, and Mega Aerodactyl. Ultimately decided that Mega Aerodactyl was by far the best lead. If he led off with something like a Slowbro or Licky Licky, we could switch accordingly and maybe put ourselves in an advantageous position anyway. But otherwise, Mega Aerodactyl leads well versus his entire squad, and is very, very bulky actually. So speaking of the team here, we've got a Spikes Greninja with 3 attacks, but I don't think I actually reveal any of my attacks, so I'll keep that to myself. The only attack I reveal is Ice Beam, I believe. Ice Beam and Spikes. On Shaman, I believe I revealed Seed Flare, Toxic, and Synthesis. And I'll leave that at that. Niddle Queen, I believe I revealed Earth Power, Sludge Wave, and Stealth Rocks. Of course, I think my 4th move was, Flamethrower for the Ferrothorn, just so that I could guarantee just blow it back, and it wouldn't be an issue for our next Pokemon, which is Reuniclus. Kind of a win condition here in this match, depending on how he plays. We are bulky enough to take hits from Infernape or Niddle King, and we are a Calm Mind variant. So Calm Mind, I think Psyshock and Signal Beam, and then bypassed on coverage for Ferrothorn. And our last move was Recover, allows us to recover up, which is really nice. Infernape is a Choice Scarf variant. It gives us some nice speed control. His team is not that fast. Actually, Infernape is his fastest Pokemon as well. And yeah, Choice Scarf Infernape does a lot of work once that Slowbro is gone and Togekiss is weakened. If I can get my rocks up, have a spike up, maybe 2 spikes up, I'll be in a really, really good position to pressure my opponent's squad with the remainder of my squad and allow Infernape or Mega Aerodactyl to clean up in the late game. So speaking of Mega Aerodactyl, we have a very bulky set, but we are adamant, afforded to run an adamant nature here with just 16 EVs in attack, which actually turns out to be very, very interesting. I did not need those 16 EVs in attack, but we'll talk about those 16 EVs later. So let's hop into the match here. Like I said, designated lead going to be the Mega Aerodactyl. He decides to lead off with the Niddle King. So let's put me at an okay position. I can click Earthquake here. So about those 16 EVs I was talking about, I would be out of range of a head smash guaranteed if I put those 16 EVs into defense. If he is adamant non-life orb head smash with 212 attack EVs, which he has confirmed. So he does actually reveal the head smash. He reveals Shukaberry as first as well. I still do around half, and he misses his head smash. So there were 16 potential rolls that my opponent could have gotten here, and only one of those rolls, which was the highest roll, was going to be able to knock me out here. I'm doing 100.8%, I believe, max roll. And otherwise, all 15 other rolls would not knock me out. So he had to have gotten, not only landed this head smash, but he needed a max roll to knock me out. And I could have just 2-hit KO'd with Earthquake, or switched accordingly, or roosted up, predicting his switch. But predicting his Slowbro to come in, I do go into my Greninja, force out the Slowbro, and I get a spike up as he goes into his Togekiss. And as he fires off an Air Slash, I go into my Nidoqueen, and I'm going to go ahead and get my Stealth Rocks up as well. And then he goes hard into his Nidoking here, and this thing threatens me. I could 100% stay in here and click Earth Power, predicting him to predict my Aerodactyl again. I don't think he's going to go for the head smash. I don't think he's going to go for Earthquake either. But regardless, I am going to switch out to my Mega Aerodactyl. I don't really need it. It's much more expendable at this point. I've got my hazards up and just already applying pressure to the Nidoking, and even the Slowbro here, chipping it down. So Mega Aerodactyl is not as important in this match. And check this out though. I go into my Shaman as my opponent fires off the Thunder Wave, predicting him to go into his Togekiss to potentially defog. I'm going to pull a double out into my Mega Aerodactyl versus a Slowbro and force out the Togekiss once again, and now hazards are racking up even more. Unfortunately, I missed the Stone Edge. It wouldn't have did anything except let me know what his set was, which would have been nice. But yeah, I wouldn't have been able to 2-hit KO Slowbro there. So he pulls a switch out into his Infernape, expecting my Shaman to come in, and he gets that right. I go back into my Mega Aerodactyl as my opponent throws off a Fire Blast. It reveals Life Orb, so I know I'm faster 100%, and I just go for the Stone Edge, able to easily knock him out there. I didn't want him going into Hydreigon on my Earthquake, or Slowbro even. So here, he brings out his Hydreigon. I'm assuming it's Choice Scarf, so I just go into my Shaman here. I know I can survive any one hit, and I'm just going to Synthesis up. After the special attack drop, there's no way he was going to not 2-hit KO me there. And I'm just going to throw off a Toxic here as my opponent actually throws off the Thunder Wave. So that's a little bit unfortunate for me there, but not the end of the world. I was able to get this thing poisoned, and I'm able to switch out to my Nidoqueen here. Unfortunately, my opponent does get the defog off here, and I'm just going to get my rocks right back up here as my opponent switches out to the Nidoking. And I'm back to nearly full. I'm going to go back into my Mega Aerodactyl here as my opponent clicks the rocks, and I'm going to roost here. The reason I roost is because I didn't expect my opponent to let Nidoking go down. He's been very adamant about keeping that thing around. So I figured he would switch out here, and roosting up, while Mega Aerodactyl isn't necessary anymore, roosting up, if he did switch, gave me a whole lot more than just knocking out the Nidoking, which I can do with or without Nidoking, or excuse me, with or without the Aerodactyl. So yeah, he's able to get me there with the Earthquake, and as you can see, the chat exploded over here on the right hand side, talking about Earthquake's damage is the same as head smash damage because they're both 300 base power. But again, that Earthquake needed a max roll to knock me out, and had I had those 16 EVs dumped into defense instead of just dropping them into attack for no reason, I would have been out of a range of a max roll there, which would have been just incredible. Unfortunately, I was just in range. He was able to knock me out with his Earthquake, and a little bit unfortunate. I lose my Aerodactyl, but I'm able to bring in my Shaman, which forces him out. I am 100% faster, speed creeping Hydreigon and Nidoking, and his entire squad outside of Infernape. I get a Spadef drop here with my Seed Flare, so I'm going to start spamming Seed Flare. Originally, I was just going to click Seed Flare into Toxic, but since I got the Spadef drops, I'm just going to go ahead and spam Seed Flare. I suppose that's why you run Seed Flare. However, he goes into Togekiss. I pull a switch out to my Nidoqueen. I don't want paralyzed, and if he goes for Air Slash, I'm fine. And here I can start applying some more offensive pressure once again. I'm going straight for the Earth Power. I don't expect him to allow Togekiss to go down, and I felt like he might hard switch into his Nidoking. But he goes into a Slowbro here, going to be in range of a 2-hit KO. I do survive the Surf. He does decide to Mega Evolve here, and not allowing Hydreigon or Kiss to come in, I do just fire off the Sludge Wave. And I'm going to stay in here. I don't mind if this thing drops a Draco. It gives me my Infernape. I can just go into Infernape and click U-turn and see what my opponent wants to do. He actually finally decides to stack off his Nidoking. Unfortunately, I go for the U-turn, and I get poisoned because of the poison point. But yeah, I can just go into my Greninja here and start spamming Ice Beam. So I get the knockout on the Nidoking there. He brings in his Scarf Hydreigon here. This has to be 100% Scarf now. So the idea is to put everything in range of Flare Blitz or Close Combat from Infernape. So he misses a Draco. It doesn't matter because he lands the second one, and he's not going to be spamming Dracos in the late game praying for crits. I don't think, anyway. So I U-turn out once again, forcing the Togekiss in, and with Toxic Damage racking up, he's almost in range of Ice Beam. So I'm just going to start spamming Ice Beam. If he wanted to click Roost there, I was pretty much guaranteed to win, but he goes for the Thunder Wave there. Paralyzes me. So now he's actually got a chance to potentially win again. Depending on what kind of rolls he gets and how, if he can paralyze me and things, or flinch me or something like that. And he is able to get one flinch there. Unfortunately, though, he's going to be in a position where if I can get some damage off here, he's not going to be able to continuously roost up here. And this is actually his last one. He wouldn't have been able to roost up anymore as long as I broke through the para. And Togekiss finally goes down thanks to the toxic damage, and now my Choice Scarf Infernape can just click Close Combat here and pick up the nice 2-0 victory, giving our team the 4-3 win, giving our team the win in the series there, picking up 4 wins overall, and this will be our second win of the season. So congrats to us, the High Jump Kicks. But yeah, that's going to be it. Let me know what you guys thought about the prep and the plays on both sides of the field. Let me know what you guys thought about the RNG in the match as well. A little bit unfortunate, but I don't think it was necessarily the game decider. I don't think had he landed head smash, he automatically won or anything like that. So yeah, it's going to be it. Let me know what you guys thought. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.